This looks like the place. I went past the shops, the bridge of no return, past the apartment of mystery, past the tree of forgotten dreams, through the forest of illusion, past the path of totality, and now I'm here. Well, that's the last time I accept a treasure map off a drunk homeless person. And now that I've returned home with the mystery box and changed shirt for no apparent reason, let's see what's in the mystery box. And, you know, seeing as it's from a hobo, probably, you know, a pair of socks, empty bottle of beer, maybe, you know, a shoe that's been peed on, I don't know. Anyway, let's see what's in the box, because we're not going to know until we open it. Oh my god. I was right. Pair of socks. I mean, what else would it have been? You know, put in a box in the woods. You're not going to put anything too good in there. You know, I mean, they're clean. I mean, that's a surprise. I mean, from a hobo. I mean, I don't know why you didn't keep the socks. I mean, I suppose, you know, it wasn't for nothing. Got a pair of socks, I suppose. So, yeah. The Last of Us was in it as well. Didn't see it underneath the socks. Screw the socks. Let's review The Last of Us. Let's get into it. Essentially, The Last of Us is the game I never knew I wanted. A survival horror post-apocalyptic Uncharted game. With zombies. And if that doesn't already make you excited, stop watching this review now. But without giving too much of the story away, Joel and Ellie need to travel across the country during a zombie outbreak. And that's it. Pretty simple, I know, but that's just scratching the very surface of what else is going on in this game. And I know I say scratching the surface a lot in my reviews when it comes to the story, but really, it is scratching the surface. Plus, that's all I got from the trailers, so obviously the developers want you going into this game knowing nothing, and I don't want to ruin that for them. And while it is a pretty simple story, you have seen it before. Two of the opposite kinds of people are forcefully pair together, and at first they hate each other, but slowly learn to grow as characters and like each other. But while it is a very overdone story, The Last of Us manages to make it feel fresh and new. This is only helped by how amazing Joel and Ellie are as characters, not just as a pair but individually. Joel is pretty much Nathan Drake, but with a ton more damage. Nathan Drake always manages to escape death by the skin of his teeth, and climbs on everything with no fear. It's exciting to watch, but there's no denying that he isn't exactly a compelling character. But Joel, on the other hand, is a compelling character. The first 20 minutes of the game alone sets up Joel as a character more than the entire Uncharted trilogy did for Drake. And don't get me wrong, I'm not criticising Uncharted here by any stretch of the imagination, they are very different games, I'm just using them comparatively. And on top of that, Ellie is a great character, and I feel like Naughty Dog really nailed what a lot of games don't. In films, games, and generally all kinds of media, kids are either one extreme or the other. Too kiddie, bratty and annoying, or too brooding, stone-faced and tough. And I feel like Ellie got the balance completely. She loses her temper, learns how to hold her own in a gunfight, and Deck's a lot older than her age, but she's still a kid. She makes stupid decisions, swears way more than necessary, reads comic books, says kiddie things. She's written like the 14-year-old she is, which I love. Not only that, but she makes for great AI, giving me medkits and ammo on the battlefield. 2013 is really shaping up to be the year of helpful female AI partners, called Elizabeth, who are being escorted across the city by a protagonist who can wield a gun, voiced by Troy Baker. And both games happen to feature a black woman that looks almost identical. Hey, wait a minute, this game shares a lot of similarities with that other game, Ni no Kuni. Something you'll come to realise while playing The Last of Us is that Joel and Ellie, They ain't no Nate and Sully, let me tell you. Joel is significantly older than Nathan Drake, and as a result, he's not so good with the whole agility, climbing and shooting thing. Despite living in post-apocalyptic hell for 20 years, Joel is no veteran, and this is where it really starts to differ from Uncharted. Ammo-wise, Uncharted is all like, pew 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 pew, but in The Last of Us, it's like, oh man, I seriously hope I won't be needing that bullet later. To the point where actually finding ammo is like discovering the Holy Grail. Haha, nice, yes, free bullets. Those guys aren't gonna know what hit him. Except when you're full up on ammo, when you're just like, okay, I'll be honest, I was just looking for a reason to use that clip. But seriously, you'll be needing every single bullet you can find, as the gunfights are nothing to joke about. Not only are they difficult, but they're terrifying. Whenever you're up against an enemy, even if he doesn't have a gun, shooting at them is tense as hell. Not only can a single bullet completely knock you over, but Joel's aiming isn't quite as refined as Nathan Drake's. Not only that, but if you want to reach for a new weapon during a gunfight, you'll need to make sure you're in a safe location first, as searching through Joel's bag does not pause the game. So if I were you, I would probably go with a stealth option. But then again, saying that, there were times in the game when I had cleared out an entire area using stealth kills, but the game wouldn't progress until I shot someone. Because in the cutscene, Joel was all like, it's gonna get messy, so I couldn't continue the game until I made it messy. This actually happens quite a lot often in the game, making the stealth feel ultimately pointless at times. The graphics in The Last of Us, they're good. Like, if the PS3 can handle graphics like this, do we really need a PS4? I don't feel like we do. Graphics really do not need to be any better than this. If you play this game and complain about the graphics, your expectations are just set way too ridiculously high. Look at this! It legitimately feels like you're wandering around in an abandoned neighborhood that actually exists right now in real life. By the way, am I the only person who thought these towns looked a lot like the towns from Telltale's The Walking Dead? Oh yeah, speaking of The Walking Dead, there are zombies in this game, yay! I hate zombies in video games, okay? I'm truly goddamn sick of them, unless a game can pull it off in an interesting way, such as The Walking Dead. And at times, the zombies, the infected, are pretty boring in this game. But what I do like are the clickers. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can be insanely annoying in their own right, but when they're not being annoying, stealthing around them can be pretty cool, unless they hear you, in which case they just become completely annoying again. And so here we are at the criticisms paragraph. But Farfetched, I hear you type in the comment section below, The Last of Us has received over 50 perfect scores. Do you really have any criticisms? Yeah, I do, actually. While I did enjoy The Last of Us, it isn't the game of the generation like I hear so many people claim it to be, nor do I think it manages to top Uncharted. And I think the main draw is that I'm just sick to death of zombie games. Granted, they don't feature in the game as much as you'd think, but when they're there, I just feel like I'm retreading the same old ground. By this point, my mentality is, even if they're doing something new with zombies, they're still doing something with zombies. That, and sometimes the AI can be a little bit awkward at times. And by awkward, I mean downright stupid. But to make this less of a problem, the enemies do thankfully ignore the AI awkwardly running around refusing to hide and get behind cover, but it does hinder the intensity a little bit. But other than that, The Last of Us is a fantastic game. It was everything I was hoping it would be at E3, and so much more. The characters are realistic, the story is great, the graphics are out of this world, the game is brutal as all hell. Naughty Dog really has done it again. No doubt some of the later moments in this game will stick with me forever. And although the game has a somewhat satisfying ending and doesn't warrant a sequel in any way whatsoever, I want more Joel and Ellie! Please, Naughty Dog, just defy all logic and reasoning and give us more of these guys! I don't care if you've openly declared that their story is done, I don't want it to be done! Bottom line, when a game literally has you applauding after the first 20 minutes and leaves you speechless when the credits start rolling, you know you've got a contender for Game of the Year. And that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on The Last of Us, but who cares about what I have to say? I might be an idiot who has stupid opinions. I might be a loony. I'm not a loony, by the way, but you never know. So let's get a second opinion. Today, Bryson from SirRiffalot.
Hey, Kane, how you doing? Good. Last of Us, right?
I was extremely excited for this game, and to a degree, it didn't disappoint. I'd like to get the story out of the way because I have a lot to say about it, but I don't want to talk about it extensively. I mean, this isn't my show, and I've only got a few minutes to get my points across, and already, you're wasting my time, god damn it!
I liked the story. Now, while it falls short of doing something completely original from what we've seen in other post-apocalyptic pieces, where it excels is presentation.
And really, that's kind of what the entire game does. Naughty Dog has created a game that takes everything they've learned over the years and then pushes it that much more. They took their ability to write believable characters and implemented that into gameplay through quirky dialogue,
comic book thing,
player interaction, and simple animations. They made a crafting system, which seems to be mandatory for games these days, easy, fast, and actually useful. They took the standard cover-based shooter mechanics and simplified it so it worked in tune with their stealth, which is something new for Naughty Dog. Some players have said that it's buggy and unresponsive and boring, but for a developer to put such an emphasis on an idea that they've only touched upon in the past is risky. Yet I think they did it well. I never felt like I was wrongfully spotted, and that's because of the AI, which is another thing that people bite at, mainly because the lady just walked in front of an enemy and I wouldn't do that if I was in her position. It allows game errors.
The game is a glorified escort mission. Ugh.
And when you programmed a girl who has to be by your side at all times while still not being a nuisance, there are bound to be a few logical errors. I would take an AI that bursts full sprint in a stealth section without triggering enemies over an AI that does any day. And that's really important when you're low on ammo, low on health, and have to sneak around baddies or take them out systematically, which I think are the most fun parts of the game. The puzzles are a bit mundane though, and that's where the game loses points. While I understand they're there to elongate the game and to change the pace, they're boring, which is a shame because Naughty Dog usually does fun puzzles. Also, the multiplayer is fun too, but nobody cares about that. At the end of the day, it's easy to look past a few bugs or quirks to accept the game for what it is, an intense, scary, satisfying, narrative-driven video game.
Is it the best game I've played in years? No. Is it the best game I've played all year? Yeah. And really, I think that's all that matters.
I thought it sucked.
Shut up. Back to you, game.
And so that's The Last of Us, and be warned, the ending to this game is very sad. By which I mean when you get to the end of the game, you'll be sad that the game is over, and now there's another 2 or 3 year wait for the next Naughty Dog game to be released. And you know what, seeing as Naughty Dog are still yet to let me down, and I've never been disappointed by any of their games yet, I'm just gonna sit patiently waiting for the next Naughty Dog game to be released. I invite you to join me. See you next time, everyone. Is it out yet? No. Have they announced a new game yet? I'm not even wearing a watch. What am I doing? I can't tell the time yet. Have they announced a new game? I haven't been keeping up with the news. It might have been maybe SirRiffalot knows if there's a new game coming out. Will they be bringing out an Uncharted 4? Has Uncharted 4 been out? No. There's still not a watch there. Why do I keep looking? I forget that I'm not wearing a watch. I never wear a watch. They make my arms sweat, so I don't know why I keep instinctively looking. What time is it anyway? Oh, the computer's turned off. That's the next game. No, it's been about 30 seconds. I'm so hot. Waiting for so long does make you quite sweaty. Oh, hurry up, Naughty Dog. How long are they going to keep me waiting? I can't. Oh. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Announce the game now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Have they announced the game yet? Oh, god damn it. Why are the kids shouting outside? Maybe they're angry that there isn't a new Naughty Dog game yet. I know, I understand your pain, little kid. That's probably what they're screaming about. Kids today, it's an 18 game. The mum and dad probably shouldn't buy them that. Sounds about 2 or 3. Probably wouldn't get the deeper meaning to this game anyway, so That's a copy of the game wasted on a toddler when it could be given to a starving African who would love to play that game. The hell was that?